Hello friends, welcome to the video number 14 for the Visual Basic for Applications in Excel series. And well, finally in this video we're going to be talking about the if statement or the if block to give our code the ability to take decisions and well execute some kind of code just if a condition is evaluated to true. And well, basically the block, we're gonna make it just like this. We need to put the reserved word if. Then we don't need to use the parentheses, as you can see in the examples here below. I just wanted to show that something here has to be evaluated is a condition, and that condition needs to evaluate to true. If that is happening, if that's the case, then the control of execution is gonna come inside of the block, and it's gonna execute however or whichever amount of lines of code we have in here. And well, then we actually specify in VBA that this is in this line, this is the end of the if statement. So this is necessary. Actually, I tend to do it just like, for example, if x equals y, then, and then immediately put the end if, just like that. Then make a little bit of space, indent it, and start writing your code. Because, well, it happens to me many times that I forgot to put the end if, and well, your code is gonna, actually, I don't think it even runs. For example, I'm just gonna comment this. If I try to run this, yeah, it immediately it tells me that there is a block if without the end if. So I gotta come here and fix this error. So it's not a big deal, but it's kind of annoying. So if you just get used to create your block and immediately finish, put the end if, and then come back and write however lines of code you need to put in here. So well, just to try to amplify or make an example here, I'm coming back or going back to the comparison operators. So I have placed here the 6 different types of comparison. Again, I have my x and y variables declared as integers. And well, I'm setting the x to be equal to 5 and y equals to 3. So here I'm gonna see if they are equal, they are different, x is less than y, x is greater than y, x is less or equal than y, or x is greater or equal than y. And well, in each case, I'm gonna be writing true. Obviously, this line is only gonna get executed if this evaluates to true. It's to true, this to true. Well, to cells A1, A2, A3, so forth. Let's just run and see what happens. So, okay, these two are equals. Well, no, they are not. So the block, this line of code is not executed. Let's try to do it step by step. So it's probably gonna be clearer. So I'm getting inside of the subroutine. I assign the values, then I'm gonna make the evaluation. So it's not true, so it just goes to the end of the block. Then this evaluates, are they different? Yes, they are. So it gets inside of a block and it executes that line of code and it finishes the block. Then x is less than y. So no, 5 is not less than 3. It skips, go to the end. Now the next one is greater than y. Yes, it is. So it gets inside of the block and writes true into A4, and we finish executing. Now I also have this example for the logical operators. And here, for example, I have my 4 variables. I added the a and b, a equals to 7, b equals to 10. And here, for example, I want to see if x is greater than y and a is less than b. In that case, b1 is going to be true. Now here I have another and. This I want to be, well, let's see, it's 5 greater than 3. Yes, it is. And 7 is greater than 10. Well, no, it is not. So this has to be false. It shouldn't be evaluated. Let's just run this and see what happens. Okay, I have true for the B1, false for B2. Now I'm gonna go, as you can see, this exact evaluation, I have it in here, x greater than y and a greater than b, but I'm using the negation, the not logical operator. So again, this evaluates to false, that's why B2 is left blank. But here I'm negating or inverting the result. So if this evaluates to false, with this not, it becomes true. So that's why it evaluates to true. The whole expression, all this evaluates to true. So it goes inside of the block and writes true into B5 right here. And well, basically it's the same thing. Now for the OR, I have on B3, x is greater than y. Yes, it is. A is greater than b. Now this is not, but as this is true, then the whole thing evaluates to true. That the code gets inside and writes true to B3. Now here I have both conditions evaluating to false. 5 it's less than 3. Now it's not. And 7 is greater than 10. Now it is not. So everything is false. That's why we get nothing on B4. And I am using this same one. Whoops. This one right here. And again, I'm just negating or inverting the result. Everything evaluates to true. So it goes inside of the block and writes true into B6. So I hope with these examples, again, the logical operators are a little bit clearer than with what we saw on video 13. And well, I think that's pretty much about it for the if statement. It's actually pretty simple. Again, just put your if, something that you want to be evaluated, then, and then don't forget your end if. And here, everything you put inside in here, if this evaluates to true, these lines are going to be executed. Now, just one thing, you don't need to put this, these white spaces right here is called the indentation. It's not necessary. Let's, for example, here in A2, remove this. I'm gonna clear this. Run it again. And well, as you can see, it just works perfectly fine. But it's kind of like a good habit, at least for VBA. There are other programming languages that actually requires you to indent. You don't need to put, for example, this and for the if statement. So whenever you remove your indentation or start writing something in the same level as this if, the programming language is going to assume that you have finished your block. So if you just get used to it now, it's going to be easier for you if later you migrate to another programming language. So just get used to make this indentation right here. Also, if your block obviously start growing up, which is obviously what's going to happen, I think. This is a very, very simple example, just one line of code. But for example, you can have more ifs, which is called what the nested ifs. You can have loops inside of this. You can have many, many things. So this indentation is going to make your code much more readable and maintainable. So just get used to apply this indentation. And let me see what's coming next. Oh, well, yeah, here we're just seeing how to execute something or some lines of code if this evaluates to true, but what happens if I want to combine some different things? So if this is not true, then well, I want to evaluate something different. And if that thing is true, then I want to do something again different. So that's where the else statement is gonna come in handy. And that's what we are going to be watching in the next video. So I hope you find this video useful. And well, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And well, as always, thanks all of you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video for the if else statement.